In this video, I'm going to demonstrate various techniques for changing your column width. In the last video, I entered this data and I had explained that I wasn't concerned about how the text extends beyond the column width. As you can see here, part of first quarter is being cut off. I'm not concerned about it because we can quickly adjust the column width to fit the text within the column. There are quite a few different techniques that I use to resize my column widths depending on what I want to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and go through some of those techniques with you. The first technique is to come up between the column headings. As you can see right here on the border of the column heading, if I position my mouse, it turns into a resize pointer. If I double click, it will automatically resize the column to fit all of the contents within that column. Alternatively, you could position your mouse in the column heading on the border, and once you see the resize pointer, you can click and you can drag, and that will determine the width of your column. So you can go to the right or to the left and resize the column. If you know you have multiple columns that you want to resize all at once, you can select the column headings from the top, and then you can position your mouse between any of the column headings right on the border and then double click. And that will automatically resize all of the columns to fit the contents within each column. If you want to make sure that each of those columns are the same exact size, you could then just use the resize technique by clicking and dragging, and then you see that they're all the same size now. I'm going to click undo a few times to take it back to how it was when we first started. Another technique that you can use is the select all. If I click right here, so I'm above the number 1 and to the left of the A, if I click on that, that's a select all. That selects the entire worksheet. I can go up between the columns, right up here in the column heading, and I can double click, and that will resize all of the columns within the workbook to fit the widest text entry within that column. I'm going to click off of that to deselect. You can also right-click a column heading, then choose column width, enter the width of the column, click OK, and that will also change the column width. The last technique that I'm going to show you is to select a column, make sure you're on the Home ribbon. Over here in the Cells group, click Format, choose column width, enter your column width, and click OK. You can also change your row heights using the same techniques. So for example, I can select all of the rows, and I would be able to position my mouse between the border of the rows, get my resize handle, and I can resize, and that will resize all of the selected rows at once. I can right click and I can choose row height, and I can enter the amount. I can also come up to Format and choose the row height, enter the row height, click OK. So all of those same techniques will work when you're working with changing column widths or row heights. I'm going to go ahead and go between the rows and double click, and it's going to change it back to automatically adjust the row height to be what it needs to be to fit the text within the row. I'm going to do a select all here and double click between the columns, and that automatically resizes each column to fit the widest text within the column. And that's how you change your column width and your row height.